Like pops on the way-ins, and even through the hating and walls they thought I'd stay in. Who you playing? I don't.
It's the Clippers and the City of Angels for a little interconference action here at the Staples Center. Bringing you another exciting NBA broadcast. Here on 2K Sports, this is Kevin Harlan. Joining me, Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. State Farm presents the starting five. A look at who we've got on the floor to begin things for the Indiana Pacers. Paul George and Danny Granger on the perimeter. West out there with Roy Hibbert, and it's Hill in at the point guard position. And for the Clippers, Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan, they're inside. Chris Paul is out there with 4, and it's Butler in at the small forward. Misses the layup. He had him with that bump fake.
Just so impressed with the work Roy Hibbert has put in since his final year at Georgetown. He's lost a lot of weight. He's gotten himself in terrific condition, and he's a very skilled player down on the block.
Clippers on D. Get the teardrop. Hill, no good.
Tell you what, credit the defense there. They really contested that layup.
Steve, you're right about Roy Hibbert. Last season got off to a hot start. He had lost about 25 pounds doing martial arts. All those different workouts associated with that over the summer. He also addressed a undetected asthma problem, which Clark helped his endurance.
Yeah, it did help his endurance, but I think as the season went on, Roy thought maybe he had gotten too light by year's end, and now he's gotten back up to around 260. And again, it's not just what you weigh, but it's what kind of strength you have and where is the weight. He needs a little more lower body strength to anchor him, and the right kind of weight and muscle is going to continue to allow him to be a very effective center in the NBA.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Yes, Kevin, I had a chance to catch up with head coach Lenny Del Negro. Making the most of their possessions on the offensive end is what coach considers to be the biggest factor in the outcome of this game. He said if we start getting sloppy with the ball, we'll play our way out of it. This defense we're facing is too smart and too talented to be giving away scoring chances against. We'll see, guys.
Terrific, Doris. Thanks. They put a lot of thought into how they're going to match up against the opposing defense, guys.
Well, one of the things you got to do here, Kevin, and Steve, you can't afford empty possession against this team. You got to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, that's for sure, Clark. You got to make them count because you know you're not going to get a lot of open looks. So make sure you make the defense move the ball, try to get good looks, and make them pay.
Here's Griffin after Danny Granger's bucket. And DeAndre Jordan throws it down.
He made sure everybody saw that slam, Kevin. Stayed on the rim for a little while extra.
Maybe he wanted to give his legs a little rest there, Clark.
You know, I think it was really exciting for this Pacers team getting into the postseason last year for the first time in 5 years, guys. I mean, the youth helped as we saw the passion come out in that Game 4 win against the Bulls. And I thought they competed very well in that series and have some promise going forward.
Here's George. The shot is off. And the Clippers the other way now. Outside Butler. And Voigt kicks to Griffin. Picked up by Hibbert. Griffin's shot is off. Clark, I agree with you. You know, it brought the Pacers making it into the postseason. They were the 8th seed, but really did a good job against a very talented Chicago team, Steve.
Yeah, very tough opponents. Anytime you're going up in that first round against a team like the Bulls as an 8th seed, you get to see what a team like that's made of. And I think that young Pacers squad really accounted for itself in a good way in that playoff run. We'll see if they can take advantage and really have a good season this year.
Here's West. Good. The assist goes to Hill. Here's Paul. Under 4 minutes left in the first quarter of the game. He's picked up by Hill. West against Griffin. Jams it with authority.
When the big fella goes up like that, you better get out of the way.
Darren Collison. He's checked in for George Hill.
I think Blake Griffin has to be considered the best slashing and jumping big man in the NBA. I mean, his ability to catch and dunk the ball in the lane is second to none.
George is whistled for reaching in. That is his first foul of the game. Second shot opportunity. And Griffin scores. He assists by 4. And Blake Griffin, Steve, you just mentioned as a slashing big man. He's an impressive ball handler, Clark, too.
Really highly skilled in that area. I mean, it's impressive to watch him go rack to rack. I mean, he'll rebound it and take it himself. You combine that with his strength and athleticism. I mean, in the open court, he's borderline illegal.
And so here are the Clippers after Indiana gets the 3.
Offensively, just hammering away in the paint.
And that's 10 straight points inside, too.
It's 1-on-1. Paul for 3. It's rebounded by Indiana.
He certainly didn't take advantage of the poor defense, but they can't count on him to continue missing.
No, that's for sure, because this guy's too good of a shooter to miss that look consistently. Nice time to use that foul to stop the layup.
You know, if you can save just 1 point, that foul was the right move.
That free throw good from West.
Man, what a tough break, guys, for David West. Last season was having such an outstanding year before tearing his ACL in March late in the campaign. Very tough break for him.
Kicks it out to Paul. Fires from deep. Again, the miss by Paul. Back to that West injury. To lose what he brings to the table is a big blow to any team.
Yeah, without question. I mean, and the Hornets showed well in the playoffs, but you know they missed his scoring, his rebounding, and he's a veteran who's been in the playoffs, and he's a tough guy as well, Kevin. So those are attributes that you just can't replace.
Some changes for Indiana. Tyler Hansbrough checked in for Hibbert. And it's Barbosa in for Paul George. Here's Paul. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. Unloads from 9. Nice shot by Foy. Here's Collison. The lead is 2. Chris Paul covering. Hansbrough misses. The Clippers trail. Left side, Jordan. Paul dishes. Boom! And nobody getting in the way.
Not at all. Major throw. Boy, how about the touch on that pass? Lobbed it up there nice and soft. Feathery.
Yeah, looked like it made Steve for a pretty easy catch.
Well, the pass may have been soft, but the dunk was anything but.
Oh!
That should be absolutely illegal. That is a terrific play. You hear me? A terrific play. I call that a room service dime because all he had to do was catch and finish.
Now, the Clippers are such a young, exciting team. And last season, they went 23-18 at home at the Staples Center. This is a team with a very bright future, and they'd like to establish that home court.
Tries to save it. And it's recovered by the Clippers. Lays it up and in off the pretty assist. Butler's got 6.
This is an interesting matchup. Neither team has been able to get an edge.
I tell you what, it's been enjoyable to watch this one. I mean, they haven't given an inch to each other, and neither side is backing down in this one.
Granger, good. For those Los Angeles fans, Clark, the emergence of Blake Griffin as a superstar has to be a cause for celebration. Steve talked about their winning record at home, over 500. I've got this team circled. What about you?
Yeah, I do too, and part of the reason is the guy in the middle. I mean, there's a feeling this team is only going to get better, and Griffin may quickly become LA's most dominant basketball player. He's certainly already perhaps the most hyped and closing in on maybe as popular as Kobe Bryant in some circles.
He's something else.
Yeah, he's special to watch.
Gotta love the low post offense. That was beautiful.
Granger right side. Shoots the three. And he beat the buzzer. But it's no good. And so the first quarter comes to a close. Both teams scoring well, but it's all tied up. We'll be back shortly live from Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles. And the second quarter getting underway. No team gaining an edge so far. Here is Collison looking for his first bucket of the game. On the court for the Pacers as our second quarter gets underway. West out there with Roy Hibbert. Then there's Danny Granger. Then there's Barbosa. And it's Collison in at the point. Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris.
Hi, Kevin. DeAndre Jordan, the 35th pick out of Texas A&M back in 2008, and he said going in the second round stunk. It was pretty tough, but I knew I would come in and work hard and prove everyone wrong. He stepped into a starting role last season, and alongside Blake Griffin, gave the Clippers probably the most athletic front court in the NBA. He said, I never questioned myself. I felt good about my decision then, and I love where I'm at now. Guys?
All right, Doris, he's playing a big role on a team that's on the rise.
And Jordan's still refining his game. I mean, but working with Blake Griffin has really inspired him to be at his best. You know, Roy Hibbert was taken 17th by the Pacers back in 2008. Granger was the 17th pick in 2005. Both have proven to be good acquisitions for Indiana.
Paul for three, and that one's good. Guys, 7 times the lead has changed hands here now.
And we still aren't halfway through this contest yet.
Yeah, that number could easily go up to double digits before this game is over.
Back to Hibbert, Clark, a 7-2 pivot. He's got soft hands, rebounds, can score inside, and has a nice hook shot. And Steve, you even were telling me before the game he can even step back for a jumper that you would respect.
Yeah, he can knock it down from long range, Kevin. And he's an underrated passer, too. The Pacers really ran a lot of offense through him. So this is a young kid who's really developing into a solid center in this league.
Out of bounds, and they'll keep possession. Here's Paul. Griffin, defended by West. Great ball movement. Just 5 to shoot. Paul passes to Jordan. Three-pointer.
The outside game has not worked for him here so far. You need to regroup. And while you're struggling with your shot making, you got to play some D, and then you got to figure out a way to get some easier shots.
Pacers leading by 3. Clark, this offense has really been clicking.
No doubt about it, giving the defense all kinds of trouble.
And they're playing with so much energy offensively. The ball is really moving.
And Butler gets it to go on the assist by Jordan. 8 points for Butler.
Vinny Del Negro didn't have an easy go of it leading the way for the Clippers in his first year coaching that team, but he was able to get them to up their win total, and that's something to build off of.
Well, getting back to Del Negro, Clark, I mean, this is a team that has a lot of young talent. You've got Blake Griffin to build around, but it's had a losing culture for so long. So this is a tough job. I mean, he's got to really change their style, get them to buy into playing defense and playing together, and try to build some momentum with a franchise that really never has had any.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pacers. Tyler Hansbrough's checked in for West. Paul George comes in for Danny Granger. And George Hills subbed in for Leandro Barbosa. And Foy kicks to Griffin. Over Collison. And Griffin scores the assist by Foy. Foy's got 4 assists in the game.
Well, the Clippers made so much improvement last year, but one area they struggled. They only went 13 and 17 against the weaker Eastern Conference, so that's a number they'd like to improve upon this year.
Back to Paul. Over George. Paul can't get it to go.
They really need to start looking elsewhere, guys, because he can't get anything to go.
We talk about those Eastern Conference teams and making those road trips to the West. Even the Clippers were not an easy opponent to play for them.
No, not at all. I mean, the Clippers might have been a Cinderella playoff team if they were in the East. I mean, with that 23-18 home record. The West has so much talent. Top to bottom, it's on display every night.
From past the arc. A nice shot by George. George has got 9.
And a 3 the other way.
Back and forth we go. Neither side giving an inch.
Butler kicks to Foy. Jordan. It's taken away by Collison.
You can't get too loose with the ball down on the low post. Too easy to steal it. Defense wasn't able to get back fast enough to contest.
Well, they were caught flat-footed after committing the turnover that time, guys.
Jordan with the bucket. 6 points for him.
And you can see the strategy has been to take the ball inside here.
That's where you get high percentage looks and draw fouls, Steve, and it's a good way to play.
It's 2-on-1. Working it around now. Foy dishes to Jordan. Paul kicks to Foy. Marked down low that time, and he got the 3-second call. David West, he's checked in for the Pacers. Granger comes in for Darren Collison. Pacers leading by 3. Here's Hill. The finger roll finish at the bucket. Hill's got 4 points in the quarter.
Now you have to have such a great feel for the ball to get a finger roll like that to go.
So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
Kevin, interesting story with Caron Butler. He's out of Racine, Wisconsin, and had a rough childhood, but really a great story of a guy turning things around for himself. He's been one of the more consistent players in the league.
And he makes both free throws. Clark, you're right about Caron. He's had a fascinating life, a lot of ups, but a lot of downs to begin things. Steve twice selected an All-Star back in 07 and 08, but over the last few seasons, injuries have slowed him down.
Yeah, so tough last year. Dallas, in the midst of that great season that they enjoyed, to lose Caron Butler. Boy, you hated to see that happen. And now Butler into his 30s. It's tougher and tougher to bounce back from injuries. So hopefully he'll be able to come back and continue to play at a high level. We'll see.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Hey, Kevin, well, the Clippers traded away their first-round pick last season to the Cavs. At the time, because the draft was not supposed to be that great, they didn't think too highly of it, saying they didn't see anyone they particularly thought of that high in the draft. But it ended up being the #1 overall selection. We'll see how that pick pans out over the next several years, guys.
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris.
You know, it certainly isn't paying off in the short term.
Well, obviously, you know, after the fact, you say, well, they should have kept the pick. They'd either have Derek Williams or Kyrie Irving right now, but it's too late now. And at the time, they were just trying to save money, and they felt like they had their positions covered. Turnovers have been a major problem for them here.
Well, you know, they've given up 6 points off their miscues, and they wish they could get those points back. They've got to change things up if they're going to cut into this lead.
Back to Paul. Deflects the pass. It's stolen by Hill.
Well, that was a serious heave there. You can't blame him too much for not being able to corral it in.
Dishes it to George. From deep. They get it back. Here's Hansbrough. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
Well, they've increased their trips to the line this quarter.
They're getting free throws. I mean, a great way to slow the game down, get your defense set up, and find easy points.
He's perfect from the line this time.
Oh, you have to love what Tyler Hansbrough brought to the Pacers a season ago. The progress he made coming out of North Carolina was really impressive. He's a tough player, competes hard, and his offensive efficiency is impressive.
Shoots a fader. Scooped up. Another shot. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Yeah, the official all over that one. That's a good call there.
You got to give credit to the official there. I mean, being in the right position to make that call, that's what they get paid to do.
Now we're going to get to Tyler Hansbrough that Steve was just talking about. You work with in Indiana with the Pacers. His NBA career got off to a tough start when he suffered a serious ear infection that gave him vertigo and affected his balance for quite a while. It was kind of scary, really.
It really was scary because it took a while to diagnose exactly what was going on with Tyler, and once that was cleared up, he got the treatment and had to stay away from physical activity for a long time, but he was back healthy last season. And I tell you what, you love the way this kid approaches it. Low maintenance, hard working, tenacious and wanting to get better, and really raises the level of intensity of his team in practice and in games. And I think he's going to be a really good player going forward.
Griffin hits them both.
Blake Griffin has a little small-town flavor to him. Grew up in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Seems to be handling the bright lights of L.A. quite nicely. Great charisma and terrific basketball skill.
Picked up by Hibbert. Tipped. Well, their pass it to Griffin. Back to Paul. Down to 5 on the shot clock. He's guarded by Hill. And again, no good by the Clippers. Pacers leading by 10.
And they will hold for the last shot.
Yeah, good clock management is essential here.
What an offensive display he's putting on.
And at this point, Steve, you got to put more pressure on him. Bring help and make him move the ball.
Up in time. That misses. Would have counted had it gone in. And that concludes the first half. And we'll be right back here in Los Angeles. And now the third quarter about to get going. Here's Hill.
Well, the Pacers have a reputation of being an up-tempo run-and-gun team, but last season they were just in the middle of the pack in fast break points. They were really more of a defensive club than anything.
Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan, they're inside. Foyle is out there with Chris Paul, and it's Butler in at the 3 spot. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Clippers. And so he makes both from the line. Steve, let me go back to the Pacers and give you a number. Touched on their defense. You did. It ranked 12th best in the league last season. That's a good place to build.
That's a nice place to build and a really nice improvement from the prior year. I like Granger as a two-way player. He's pretty good defensively when he's locked in. Collison is quick and can be a factor pressuring the ball. And the big guy, Roy Hibbert, made the greatest strides, being able to defend the paint without fouling. Carving them up inside there, Kevin. I mean, the defense has been vulnerable in there.
Yeah, that's 3 straight field goals in the paint area. That's really good offense. Something has to change, guys. That's 10 straight points coming in the paint against this team.
Well, they got to collapse in there, and everybody's got to be conscious of it. It's a team effort in protecting the paint. Control the ball, and then everybody's got to get in there and keep the defense locked down.
Boyd dishes to Butler. Stolen by George.
Now, poor decision there. He left his feet. Looked like he was going to shoot and then changed his mind at the last second.
And here we go. A flawless finish on the alley-oop. 10 points for Chris Paul.
Off to the races, just really getting up and down the floor.
Not much the defense could do there, guys, but let them go.
And that one's good. And the Pacers lead by 10.
His team has to tighten up inside. Way too many easy hoops in the lane.
Yep, that's 5 straight buckets they've given up from the key now, and it's hurting.
And Boyd kicks to Griffin. Count the bucket coming off a perfectly placed assist. Griffin's got 16 points. Hill passes to West from 11 feet away. Good. The assist goes to Hill.
He's just filling the stat sheet. I mean, what hasn't he done out there today?
Well, Steve, you know what we call a guy who fills the stat sheet, don't you? He is a stat sheet stuffer supreme.
Pacers leading by 8. Caron Butler covering. Granger from outside. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. Hill's got 6 assists in the game. Right side, Jordan. Shot is blocked, but they retain possession. Griffin's shot is off. Deflected. Here's Indiana now. West kicks to George, and he converts the layup. George has got 11.
That was all about the assist there. Just a beautiful feed.
Guys, some great passing from him.
Yeah, it makes it tough for the defense to chase that ball around when it moves that crisply all over the court.
Yeah, it sure does, Clark. And look at the assist totals. They're piling up. I mean, it's been a nice game execution-wise for this club. Showing no mercy. They are getting after them at both ends of the floor.
Continuing to add to the lead as the minutes tick away.
And they're on the break. Goes up. And the layup is good after a nice lead pass. George has got 6 points in the quarter.
This team just looking to run at every opportunity.
Circles around them is what they're doing. I mean, pushing the tempo and really enjoying an advantage there. So now that's twice we've seen the offense collapse. That's back-to-back empty trips because of turnover.
Yeah, and that's going to be a problem because now all of a sudden you start turning the ball over. You lose all offensive rhythm and flow. And guys, I'm impressed with Paul George. He was the 10th pick out of Fresno State last year, and Pacers are happy with him. He's athletic, he's got an NBA body. I think he's got a lot of potential. He could become a good player.
And it's Hibbert missing.
A well-contested shot there.
And that's the key defensively. You've got to make them work for it, challenge every shot.
Pacers leading by 20. Gathers. Danny Granger, the bucket on the assist by George. 14 points for Danny Granger. Well, Clark, here's a player you know a little bit about. Paul George of the Pacers, second-year player, smooth game, nice-looking jump shot. He can slash as a lot of these guys can. Doesn't seem to be a bad defender either.
I think he's got the potential to be a really outstanding player at both ends of the floor. I think he's got stardom in his future. Tremendous athlete, does things easily from an athletic standpoint. Last season, just messing around after practice, he jumped over 7'2" Roy Hibbert for a dunk. He's got great potential.
Los Angeles calls timeout.
And Coach could tell they were out of sync, so he's going to try to straighten it out.
Darren Collison, he's checked in for Indiana. Here is Paul. 12 points for him. Butler dishes to Jordan. Goes straight through the defender for the dunk. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line. Roy Hibbert picks one up.
You know, for the Pacers last season, they really had a difficult time against Western Conference teams. I mean, only going 9-21 in those matchups.
Collison in the post, defended by Paul. Collison against Paul. Shoots from 12. Collison, no good. We talked about the troubles, Clark, against the Western Conference. For whatever reason, Steve, they struggled to defend Western Conference opponents.
Well, I thought the biggest thing was the West was so much deeper than the East last year, Kevin. The East had some strong teams at the top, but overall a weaker field of teams. You go out West, and on a nightly basis, you're going against a really tough team. I think that's the disparity in the numbers for Indiana.
And that one's good. Griffin.
That's 5 straight hoops in the paint. What a fantastic job of attacking the rim.
Well, Steve, they're getting the looks that they want down there, so might as well keep going right at the rim. If there's no resistance, then make them pay. So far, he hasn't made much of a contribution at the offensive end. Blake Griffin doing all sorts of things. He's got 10 rebounds and 5 assists. That kind of mix of assists and rebounds is what wins you basketball games.
But you've got to love having a guy who can do both those things well.
1:58 left here in the third quarter. Can they get it? The shot is off. Paul with the defensive effort. Clippers trail by 15. And Voigt kicks to Paul. Jordan. So it's Indiana now. 22 is their biggest lead. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line.
That's his third.
Well, I love Paul George's game. From Palmdale, California, north of L.A., a 6'8" athletic wingman. I think he's got a chance to be a two-way star in the NBA.
Clark going back to Paul Conference action here at the Staples Center. Bringing you another exciting NBA broadcast. Here on 2K Sports, this is Kevin Harlan joining me, Clark Kellogg, and Steve Kerr. State Farm presents the starting 5. A look at who we've got on the floor to begin things for the Indiana Pacers. Paul George and Danny Granger on the perimeter. West out there with Roy Hibbert, and it's Hill in at the point guard position. And for the Clippers, Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan, they're inside. Chris Paul is out there with 4, and it's Butler in at the small forward. Misses the layup. He had him with that bump fake.
I'm just so impressed with the work Roy Hibbert has put in since his final year at Georgetown. He's lost a lot of weight. He's gotten himself in terrific condition, and he's a very skilled player down on the block.
Clippers on D. Get the teardrop. Hill, no good.
Tell you what, credit the defense there. They really contested that layup.
Steve, you're right about Roy Hibbert. Last season got off to a hot start. He had lost about 25 pounds doing martial arts. All those different workouts associated with that over the summer. He also addressed a undetected asthma problem, which Clark helped his endurance.
Yeah, it did help his endurance, but I think as the season went on, Roy thought maybe he had gotten too light by year's end, and now he's gotten back up to around 260. And again, it's not just what you weigh, but it's what kind of strength you have and where is the weight. He needs a little more lower body strength to anchor him, and the right kind of weight and muscle is going to continue to allow him